Okay, let's talk weather. As we head into the cooler months, it's really common for the body to feel quite stiff, for any old injuries to flare up, things like arthritis, any aches and pains, or that feeling of old to start to creep in. So I'm going to give you a couple of strategies that you can do on the daily that is only going to take about 2 minutes to do, so that you are going to feel really good. You're going to keep the body feeling really well during winter, and you're going to be able to move much better. It is also going to have a massive impact on your mood, on your mental state, your emotional state, all of that. So although we should be doing these all year round, it's especially helpful during winter as we do feel all of that stiffness and flare-ups. So our connective tissue in the body is honey-like. It's a honey-like consistency. When it is cold, it is very thick and sticky and stiff. Whereas, so think of honey out of the fridge, it's really thick, sticky. Whereas if we put it in, say, the microwave, or we heat it up, it pours almost like water. So it's really fluid, it's smooth, it's supple, it flows really easily. And that is much like our connective tissue in our body. That is everywhere. So basically this is what holds the muscles to the bones. It encases muscle, it encases bones. There is the most amount of proprioceptors, nerve endings in our connective tissue than anywhere else in the body. And this is what feeds information. So the connective tissue within the body gathers information. It tells the brain what to do. It tells the body what to do. So it's really critical that we keep this working really smoothly. So if we have any old injuries, like I mentioned before, it's really common to feel flare-ups over winter as it kind of feels stiff and sticky. And generally, as our nutrition changes, as our movement habits change, all of these kinds of things change with the season as well. So if we can maintain as much of that consistency throughout the year, because we don't have the big changes that we would have used to have without the comfortability. So if we think air conditioners, heaters, nice warm cozy houses and beds, things like that, our lifestyle needs to accommodate for that. So we need to keep a little bit of consistency throughout the year. So with that said about the connective tissue being very honey-like, when we wake up in the morning, if we're colder, everything is going to be a lot more thick and sticky and stiff. Okay, so then we can feel that stuckness throughout the body. Any kind of tension, extra tension that we're holding in the body, that is all going to feel very thick and stick and really stuck, especially first thing in the morning when it's cold. So really simple. We can do a rub and scrub. So first thing in the morning when you get up, a rub and scrub to heat up the area or to heat up that tissue. So a rub and scrub is literally rubbing and scrubbing against the skin. Okay, so not enough to give yourself a Chinese burn. But we want to heat it up. So if it goes a little bit red, that's okay as well. So it should start to feel warm very quickly. And this is, again, just our natural instinct when you're feeling cold, is to rub up that area. So when we get up in the morning, we want to aim especially for any of those really stuck places. So if you have an old injury, if it's not flaring up yet, and hopefully it doesn't, that's awesome. But really look up, do that area first, or make sure you pay attention to that area to prevent that from happening. So we want to get in and around the knees, especially in and around those joint areas, especially in and around those joint areas, because our lymphatic system also, which is any waste buildup in the body, the lymphatic system flushes that out and then helps us to excrete it. That lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. So our blood has the heart to pump it around the body to where it needs to go and when it's needed. The lymphatic system relies on movement to flush out that waste product from any areas and to be able to excrete it. So if we have an injury as such, or an old injury, and any kind of waste product, so that could be food, inflammatory food, it could be any toxins in the body from chemicals, from daily usage products, body washes, hair care products, personal use products, any toxins from those, any toxins from emotions, so stress, hormones, anything like that. So any of this buildup in the body is going to be magnetized to weaker areas, so any old injuries and things like that. So that's why we can have old injuries that flare up even when they are fully healed. So it's that neurological response as well as physiological, so that combination. So we want to make sure we're focusing on those areas, so heating it up and getting that little bit of movement in there to flush out any waste product, to heat up the connective tissue so that the body is going to move more smoothly. Okay, so those two things are really what we're focusing on, and keeping the body moving really well, especially over winter, is that lymphatic system and the connective tissue. So rub and scrub is the first one, all over those joint issues, knees, ankles, everywhere, neck. That's it. And then the other one is some gentle stretches, and think more mobility than holding stretches. So you want to be moving through those stretches as such, rather than a static holding. So rather than say standing and holding, first thing in the morning you want to rub everything up, and then we want to move. So this can be, can't quite see me there, but this can be our just general moving. Think ankles, knees, hips and shoulders. It can be these ones. A lot of those simple ones that we do in the studio to prep the body. And there's a reason that years later you can find yourself still coming back to these simple exercises, because they're foundational for the body. They're foundational in targeting ankles, knees, hips, thoracic spine, shoulders. It targets everything all at once, and we can flush out that lymphatic system, as well as creating blood flow, circulation. We're heating up the connective tissue all over, opposed to individual static stretches. Okay, another one that's really good, so if you tend to be prone to more shoulder type stuff, we've got the empty cup or a glass half full of water, and we've got the coming over and under, so we're targeting around the shoulder blades here. So we can add in the whole body with the hips, coming over and around. This is a really good one, and you're focusing on that range of motion through the scapulas, through the shoulder blades, through the neck. And then just some simple side squats, corner squats. We can do them sitting down, and the 90-90 windmill one, which is another popular one that we do. Okay, I hope this is really helpful for you guys. 2 super simple strategies to keep moving, to keep the body feeling really well over winter, especially when any kind of niggles flare up. And enjoy. Have an amazing day.